So the player holding, here we are in Pampas Railroads, by the way, Pampas. The player holding the Central Sud stocks, and the only ones of those, chose a track lay option, the last one of those, and laid track for the Sud. Did a $15 double track lay, increasing its value. The next player was holding the Weste. There was one stock purchase card left. He took that, put a Pacifico out, and bought it for 24 bucks, which is the most money anybody had. Now there's only one type of card left, which means we go and pay out dividends. I'll mark this off. I don't want to screw around with the pen while I've got the camera in hand. But let's see what happens here. So the guy with the Weste and the Pacifico ends up making 21 divided by 5, but he's got 2 shares, which is the same as the Central and the Sud, who's sitting at 22. So he made a good choice here. He's going to make more money than most of the players. I'll dish out the money. But let's see, Pacifico shares are going to produce $3 each. 13 divided by 5 is 2 point something. Likewise, these are going to produce 3 each, but these are only going to produce 2 each, which means they'll be getting $5. Doesn't sound like a lot of money, does it? Shares, there's still enough money out though that shares aren't going to go too cheaply. Guy with the Norte is going to get $3. 1, 2, 3. Guy with just the Pacifico gets $3, and there are a lot of shares, all but one of the Pacificos out there now. Again, just a Pacifico, $3. Same here. And now a Central and a Sud. And that makes $3 plus 2 is 5 for him as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of capital, so he can't buy another stock with what he's got, whereas other people are sitting on 20-something bucks. Let's see how this meshes out. But now the whole pile of cards goes to this guy's hand, and he gets to choose something, and we mark off, and we've done 1 out of the 9 dividend payouts. The guy with the Norte opens up, doing a track lay, builds into Cordoba, and further $15 lay. This is getting him in the direction of those mines. Of course, the Cordoba is about to start, and it can cut him off, or at least challenge him. Okay, speaking of the Cordoba, since we just landed there, the first share is up for auction, and we'll see who buys it. He's going to go maximum, I think, at 23, because other people have more money than that, and he wants that second share as soon as possible. Is the Cordoba worth the 23? Maybe not. But he thinks he can work his companies together. $3 isn't going to make a difference to him, so he wants to do that. So the next 2 players built track for the Pacifico. They only held shares of the Pacifico and didn't have enough money to buy anything else guaranteed. This guy's holding the most cash on hand right now. And they built between them up to Cordoba. And we see the Cordoba line has its little track there too, as well as down to Mar del Plata. That brings the Pacifico up to $29 income, or $28 income, I'm sorry. I believe. 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. And puts this guy in the interesting position of being able to buy the last certificate in the Pacifico. That'll give him control of it, so nobody's going to be able to build extensively. It's not going to be in the position it's been in, which is, oh yeah, I'll build with the Pacifico. Oh yeah, I'll build with the Pacifico. nor does everyone else really want to support it as much now, because he'll have more shares. But he's going to put this up, and he's going to bid as much as anyone else has, which I don't know what that's going to be. So now we're seeing people actually playing the blue cards, the town improvements. This guy over here, Pacifico Oeste, grew Buenos Aires. That grew money for everybody. Actually, I think Central Sud played. I don't remember who played which. Yeah, Central Sud played that. He increased Buenos Aires, and he's got 2 railroads that come out of there. So you got a $1 increase on each. Unfortunately, the Pacifico got $2, and then the next player, who has the Oeste, linked up La Plata, which was a huge advantage. Somebody should have done that earlier. Buenos Aires is too valuable a city to let that go. A guy with the Norte in Cordoba improved Cordova. And now we're on this guy. And he cannot play a stock card. Like, he'd love to get a share of Norte. But he doesn't want to do that. He may do it with a lesser company, though. That may be his best move. Because he's looking at his options. Track building, he could assign, say, the Pacifico to build more track, but that doesn't help him the most, and it's his card play. Stock market, well, what he doesn't want to do is trigger a Norte. But he may get away with a different company. Of course, this guy can outbid him on anything. And let's say he puts a Oeste up. Well, this guy can say, okay, I don't want to waste my turn. I'll buy that share, and then, even though it's not the top share that I might want, then I can turn around and improve that railway. And that's a risk here. And then the final thing you could do is a blue card to improve a location. And he could certainly help himself and only the Pacifico, but it helps other people again more than it helps him. It's a hard position to be in. I don't know what he's going to do. I think he's going to try to put a share up of the Oeste. And chances are very good that this guy will buy it, but we'll see. So indeed, this guy bought it. I don't remember what it went for, something like $17. Which still left him with a little bit of cash left over. Guy with the Pacifico. Moved the pile to the wrong side. Guy with the Pacifico built track. The Pacifico has a ton of money with all the people having invested in it, or had a ton. It still has quite a bit. So he built $15, 2 track lays up to here. Its value is now up to 39, which is humongous. Might have to switch to this chart to be able to handle the values we're getting. And what do we go to? Well, there's only 2 cards left, so that means as long as this guy does not play his orange card, he's going to trigger an income round. He doesn't have enough cash to buy a share. This would be a great time to buy a share, but somebody else will overbid him with no question. So he doesn't want to do that. He can improve the Central and the Sud. How? Well, Buenos Aires. And that's probably the best thing he can do at this point. So he's going to just lay that and trigger the round. He's not going to pay. He's going to increase Buenos Aires, and that'll increase some values. I'll come back when the money's been dished out. But as we can see, it's quite a bit for the Pacifico, and everyone else is way behind. So now we're beginning to see the capitalism at play in this game. The deck passes here. And I'm going to put a die on top of it just to remind me. Okay, so these guys brought in $14 each, which sounds pretty good, except the guy with 2 Pacificos brought in $18. Some people are making almost nothing though. The Norte, $5, $6. The Central Sud, $6. So there's a huge difference in how much money is being made. And this money's really important because this is what you buy your shares with. Now, obviously, this stuff's all frozen in. Nobody's going to buy any more of that, and it's got its huge value. Oh, this is the second one of these. I got to mark another one off. But, you know, what are the next good stocks? Well, the next good stocks are sitting here making $5 a share, and people can still buy them. You know, none of them are sold out other than the initial. Well, there's a Westdale open. This guy probably made a mistake. He improved Buenos Aires, which gave him almost nothing. It gave him position on his things, but it gave him no income. What if he had, instead of the $1 he got on the Sud, spent some track lay money, a 5 on from there? Could he have done better? He could have built to here, and that would have given him $3 instead of the 1. Now, that clearly would have been better because he would have made an extra $1 off his share, so he'd be at $7. That would have been a better move for him. It probably won't make the difference in the game, but already I'm beginning to see, you want to break these. You want to make these pop the 5 spaces, and that's why the 5 spaces are colored, I assume, on this track. They're important, and I didn't catch that really well, and now I'm beginning to see how important it is. Now, Cordoba, wow, that thing's just, you know, a stinker, right? Okay, so we'll try to figure out what this guy is doing. He's not in bad shape. He's kind of in second place, tied for second with this guy over here. Can he improve his position? Maybe he can get another share, but the danger is this guy's sitting on more cash now, so he kind of owns the stock market. That's a neat thing that I didn't really realize about the game, is that you get control. You know, this guy was able to buy Oeste, and only because he's got more cash. Well, more cash begets more cash, and that's something we're beginning to see. Not necessarily because the guy with the Pacificos is still cranking the money at this point. All right, I'm going to wrap this one and send it up because I think I did a lot of chattering, used up a lot of time, but also exposed some interesting things.